Here's what's interesting. In 2015, there was a brawl in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
9 people, it was a bunch of bikers, Hells Angels, I believe, and the such. I'm not gonna put that. I'm not sure if it was the Hells Angels, but it was a whole bunch of bikers.
Was that Sturgis thing?
Let me see. I'm not sure if it was Sturgis, but it was near Waco, Texas.
Got you.
9 people. Well, 9 people died. 20 people had serious injuries. 177 people were arrested. Not a single person cooperated. All 177 people had their charges dropped.
Now that's gangster. That's gangster. Yeah.
It's interesting because
Good, yeah, good juxtapose.
yeah, you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, yeah.
Mob James was on my show again recently.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't know until we did our last interview after doing some research was that after he left Mob Piru, he joined the Chosen Few motorcycle club.
Gotcha.
You familiar with these guys?
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about how in that world, like the 1%ers and so forth, like the Hells Angels, they really function off a very different code than like all the other gangsters and so forth.
They do.
Like, I've heard a few stories like this. I remember after I read Sonny Barger's book, he was the founder of the Hells Angels.
Mm-hmm.
They had
I
a very
met Sonny Barger. Yeah.
similar situation. A bunch of Hells Angels were charged. Everyone just stood firm. No one told. All charges dropped.
Exactly.
Those guys really follow this code.
They do.
To the death.
They do.
You've dealt with these guys, huh?
Well, I met Sonny Barger actually in New York at I think we were in the NBC building, and someone we was with had introduced us. Somebody who had an office in the building he was coming through, and they stopped and introduced us, and we talked in the hallway for about 3 or 4 minutes. Real cool dude.
Yeah, I want to interview him.
Yeah, he's real
That's
cool.
a legend
dude.
right there.
Yeah, man.
The founder of the Hells Angels.
Yeah, yeah.
Out of Oakland, California.
Yeah, real cool. Had his little crop through back. Had his little. Yeah, he was on deck. You could tell he was somebody. You know what I mean? He carried himself like that.
Yeah, I mean, these 1%ers, like the way Mob James was describing it, is like that like snitching shit.
And I can see Mob James going to that too because he grew up really under the code. I'm writing a book right now. I'm in the 5th chapter. It only has 7 chapters. It's called The Official G Code, and I should be done with it by the end of the summer. I'm taking my time with it. Want to do the audio book, all that shit. But
nice.
Nah, it's it's a total different time than it was as far as like ethics and principles about what to say and what not to say. It's like if I can save myself, it's like whatever I built up before then, it doesn't even matter. I just need to save myself in this situation. And people just throwing away everything that they worked up to. Pressure. They say pressure busts a pipe, man. Pressure.
Oh yeah, no, he said that in that world, like these guys will show up at your daughter's birthday parties. Like they'll show up at your house. They'll show up at funerals. Like you cross these guys, it's like okay, no holds barred. These guys feel like they're above the law. Feel that the regular rules do not apply to them. Mm-hmm. That they function on their own set of principles and codes. And he said a lot of the fights and violence would occur where like if there's a fight, if you don't join in, then you are the next victim.
Oh, most definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely. That's how I started with the street gangs. You know what I mean? But, just everybody, like we talked before a few years back, it's just letting everybody join, just, we need more numbers. Come on. Not screening the people who you was
Right.
actually bringing on, and they knowing secrets, and it went bad. It went bad, and then it was like not many people had an end game, and they do. They got charters and bylaws and all that fully operational.
Oh yeah, no, he was describing this shit to me. It was kind of crazy. He was saying how, he was a president in Vegas of the Chosen Few chapter, and he would run into other crews and take their jackets. And when the conversation didn't go the way you wanted it to go,
Exactly.
you would physically take their vest off.
Exactly.
What would they do?
Nothing.
Was there usually a gun involved in the process of them?
No, man. I had, when I was president, I didn't have to shoot. I didn't have to shoot nobody in Las Vegas. I didn't have to do that because we had a rule: either you abide by our rules, or do what you're supposed to do. And if you didn't do that, then the only other one is to take them colors off. You are no longer here. You cannot wear those colors in Las Vegas ever.
Put them up as trophies in their house, and he said eventually it started to devolve into the same shit he was doing in Mob Piru.
Right.
The shootings and the violence and everything. He said, well, what am I doing here? Like, I try to get away from all that, and here I am doing the same shit.
Yeah. It's just the cycle. You starting back all over again because it got away from what you originally knew, so you went back to something else that was similar and familiar.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you ever in a bike crew?
Nah.
Not your thing.
No, I had a bike, but I wasn't in no group or nothing like that. I rap and run the streets, man, gang banging. You know what I mean? I ain't dying in no patches and shit and riding with nobody.
And there's a lot of black crews out there. Chosen Few, it's not only black, but it's primarily black.
So, yeah, and I just found out maybe a few months ago that all of the racism that they say that exists in the biker world and all that. That shit's not even factual, man. That's media propelled, to keep, black gangs, motorcycle gangs from really uniting or having an alliance with a white motorcycle gang, because off the rip you figuring, oh, they racist, they hate black people and all that. And there's been black people in almost every major motorcycle organization you can name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's propaganda, man. People need to watch for that propaganda because they always going to try to pit people against each other because they don't ever want people unified.
True.
Yeah.
Well, Shotti had an interview recently from prison where he actually said he's not mad at Tekashi for snitching on him.
He taking ownership.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. That's the first stage to healing, man. You got to take that ownership. You know what I mean? And it sounds funny to a lot of people that don't know and ain't really lived that kind of life. But, yeah, that's a big step. Never met Shotti, don't know much about him. But, yeah, I applaud that statement right there.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, they knew the type of person they were dealing with. They knew they didn't have some thorough guy on their hands. They had some weirdo with rainbow hair with a bunch of tattoos on his face. That was...
He was the mascot.
He was the mascot.
Yeah.
And
he was the non-trade mascot, worth a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, they were his muscle. So when he was telling everyone to suck his dick and all that, they could have been like, next time you do that, you're on your own. We're not gonna keep sacrificing ourselves.
Or just whoop his ass and get him in line, man. Quit talking so fucking reckless. Y'all a gang, man. Enforce some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, y'all put him on and he took over the gang. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Right. You never... I'm trying to see, like, when you look at the death row situation, what you could kind of compare it to. But everyone in death row that was rapping that gangster shit really
and
came from that gangster.
Move. I think Shotti already know that was a bad move for him to start calling that shit the new death row.
The new death row. Yeah.
Man, you shining the wrong spotlight on yourself, man, because there was a lot of tragedy and that.
Call yourself the new TDE.
That came from that. Yeah, exactly.
Call yourself the new Atlantic Records. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Have something that
you want to be notorious. You want to be
Yeah,
feared.
'cause death row wasn't
And
around
it came
anymore.
to you. You know what I'm saying? Words is powerful, man. People got to know how powerful words is. People don't really even believe that, man.
Yeah, well, and he
You have to
ended up.
live a while to really understand how powerful words is.
I mean, think about it. You know, he got sentenced to 15 years. He kind of ended up in a very similar place as the founder of the old death row. They're in the same place right now.
With half the time. Roughly half the time.
Roughly half the time. Yeah. 28 years and 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Wish them both well on their, on they stay up in there, man. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully they make it out stronger and wiser.